Your words eat me alive, just like knives, tearing me from the inside. What you want, I'll never pay.
Hello there, this is Ben Fournier, or Benevolent Cytocorum, and I'm going to do something that'll probably get mocked and lose friends over for Facebook numbers or YouTube subscribers. On the one poll I posted, seems most people still want conspiracy theory type stuff and controversial stuff that I'd get silenced for, so here we have the joy of talking about the land before the flood, basically. And, well, it's interesting now everyone's into, like, the Younger Dryas flood and other forms of catastrophism, so at least there's some openness toward that versus just everyone being blindly uniformitarian. But, yeah, so there's a YouTube video called What Did Pangea Look Like? And there's a few different forms. Most of them would probably be like intermediate landscapes during, say, the impacts that caused the flood, during the flood, how things shifted about. Because, I mean, underneath the surface, it is just a ton of freaking molten rock. So you have the right amount of force, maybe with constructive interference with multiple strikes at once, and you get a crustal waveform that would definitely not be fun to be on. But, and tsunamis like crazy too, which is probably what the flood was like. But, yeah, and you have a yearly mega hurricane too. Like, anyone see the show Stargate Atlantis? Like the two-part episode, The Storm, where they talk about, like, without land to slow it down, you're gonna have just one huge hurricane. And that's pretty much what it was. What it would have been like is having a huge hurricane every single year going west to east, kind of thing. But the west part of the land wouldn't be facing it. It would be just the east, and the world looks like a giant Pac-Man, basically. And there's a few different versions of it, some with like chains of islands out on the east, which would probably work to diffuse the hurricane, make it a little less deadly. I wouldn't want to be creatures living on those islands or right by the east, but giant megafauna like ankylosaurs and stuff probably could tolerate it better than other creatures. But yeah, and any humans moving out there would probably have to build like monolithic domes or other structures, build into mountains if there were mountains of suitable material. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that could probably get mockery for, even though, like in Jurassic World, you have a world in which you can have dinosaurs and man coexisting. You live with lions and elephants nowadays, but just don't live at the same spots. You don't really want to hang out together, even if you train them well, because they're still wild animals. But yeah, and different climates before the flood. You have what Pangea would have looked like with that particular dot standing out on the west and equatorial. That would be my guess as to where Eden would be placed if it were anywhere. That's well, I mean, of course it would be like at a junction of four rivers going out into four lands kind of thing, which I think would coincide with mountain ranges dividing the world into four sections. And, living centuries, you could actually walk the entire Earth. And my guess is the land of Nod, the land of wandering, would actually be like migration, like where the animals would migrate, not a particularly fun place to live unless like you build a fortified city like Enoch. But yeah, if I write Falling into Space, I'll probably have that as like Nod. What Nod would be like is just east of Eden, right at the choke point, whereas Eden would be like a little bit west of the choke point, the land of Eden, not just the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden would be at the westernmost point, maybe on a mountain. Like, you have only one pathway going up to it. It would probably be like a choke point thing that would only require one guardian with a flamethrower sword or something. Who knows? But Yeah, for my book, I'm going to have also include Atlantis of a sort. So, like the main bad guy would have uh, the city Atlantis, basically, and it would be like Nikola Tesla versus Edison, with Edison being the bad guy, except different names, but same kind of concept. With one focusing on space travel and other sorts of cool stuff, and just wanting to leave the world because it's full of violence, and the other being like, let's make splice creatures and sell them to whoever offers the most, and they could offer in terms of like collecting species that they want turned into monsters or something like that. Uh, but yeah, have a DNA mad scientist like in Farscape as an ENTP villain, and have other guild members develop like nuclear pulse propulsion and stuff, and get out of there. A different thing. And Noah would be doing his own thing, with God telling him what to do to survive on the Earth, with Bronze Age like tech, versus just having a science fiction thing using the same settings. But yeah, anyhow, here's this anyway. Probably just time for more mockery, and losing numbers that mean nothing aside from not being able to afford food. Anyhow, take care everyone, and try not to go crazy.